just feel like I can't do this in the summer. I just feel like I need a little more time because I just feel like I'm not ready yet. I'm frightened and I'm scared.
Hello, and welcome to Seincast, a retrospective on all 180 episodes of Seinfeld, being hosted by two guys who can barely run their own lives. My name is Vinnie.
My name's Matt.
How does this evening find you, Matthew?
Well, Vinnie, well.
Good.
Very well. Okay. How you doing?
Good. I already asked you. I'm not going to ask you
Okay.
again.
I too am well. I figured we could start off this week's episode with some listener voicemails. We heard from a lot of you guys. It was wonderful throughout the week. You know, every day, just getting a new notification, new voicemail. And the first one I want to play is my favorite voicemail. It's from one of our younger listeners, and this just really, really warmed my heart. So here we go.
My name is Battle. I'm in first grade. My favorite Seinfeld character is Kramer.
Aww.
Thank you for making this. Thank you for making podcast. I love them. Bye.
Aww. Can I make him my favorite too? I want a kid like that someday.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I just loved that voicemail. I thought it was so sweet, and I played it for my wife Liz, and she, like, I've never seen her more proud that I do a Seinfeld podcast. Just like a whole new like level of respect from my wife, which was great.
I'm gonna play it for my girlfriend later.
There you go. Just whenever you guys have a fight, just pull out that voicemail and play it.
With this kid.
That name though, I thought was really interesting. I think he said Battle.
Faddle. And it had like a really cool tempo to it, like my name is That'll. I'm in first grade. But then he just kind of went off on his own thing. But I thought he was doing a bit there.
I am going off of the transcript on Google Voice, which is hilarious. If anyone sets up an account, anytime you get a voicemail, it transcribes the audio for you, but it's always off. It's never accurate. And that transcription said Battle. So
okay. Thank you, Battle.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the voicemail. I thought that was lovely. But let's move on to some other voicemails here from listeners regarding last week's discussion of the engagement. First voicemail here comes from Christian.
Hello! La. This is Christian Plouse from Raleigh, North Carolina. I wanted to make a comment about last week's episode, The Engagement. We all know Newman took over the mail route from the son of Sam. While you're thinking about that, think about this. One version of the story goes that when the New York detectives finally tracked down David Berkowitz and arrested him in his car, he smiled at them and said, "What took you so long?" I guess they shared more than just a double date. Anyway, thank you for podcasting all the great podcasts. Did I use that word correctly? Keep up the great work.
Wow, that was a wonderful impression to start. Great delivery and a really insightful comment related to the Newman-Berkowitz correlation.
Yeah, it was a great voicemail, and you know, I'm just looking at the emails right now. We got 23 emails about the David Berkowitz comment.
So I guess we didn't do our homework.
Yeah, Christian.
We're a little out of our league here.
Christian was the only one who left a voicemail, so I decided to go with his. And yeah, thanks to everyone who let us know. I just had no idea. This totally went over my head.
This is ignorance on my part, but I think the majority of what I know about the Son of Sam case is from Seinfeld. So,
really?
You know what I mean? Like I was what year was this?
The murders?
Yeah,
I think
late
it was
70s.
77.
Yeah, so we weren't born yet, and I
feel like we should kind of go back on what we said. We're like, man, Newman's so badass. How cool is he?
You said that, not me.
Oh, all right. So we're putting this one on me. All right. Well, the next voicemail is all on you, my friend.
Did I do something wrong?
You'll see.
Hey guys, it's Jim calling from Brooklyn. I just got done listening to the newest episode, and I liked what you pointed out about the Playboy in Jerry's bed there that was cropped out of the Hulu episode. and you were wondering whether or not Jerry would have that in his apartment, because he said that in the other episode that, I would not have that in my apartment. Well, that was a penthouse, not a Playboy. So maybe Playboy is a little more socially acceptable form of male curiosity there, Jerry? I don't know, just pointing that out. Keep up the good work. Thanks a lot. Have a good one.
How does it feel to screw up like that?
Ouch. Boy, Jim really handed it to me. He's got me.
I feel like Playboy has the reputation of being the more, respected, classy magazine.
Yeah, you think about the articles and the interviews in addition to the pictures, whereas Hustler, was that the other one?
Hello.
Whoops.
Have you seen the show?
What is it? Penthouse?
Yeah,
Penthouse is more, what is word? It's more raunchy, right?
Oh, absolutely. I think that's sort of like I'm sure there are raunchier magazines out there, but that I feel like at the time was the most mainstream raunchy magazine. Do you remember the stories we told about like seeing our first adult magazine? And you saw one in your family's bathroom, right?
Yes.
Should I bring this up?
Sure.
You mentioned this on the pod, right?
Fair game.
Was that a Playboy?
It was.
So I wonder if there was a little more social acceptance to have, that magazine lying around. But thanks a lot, Jim, for sending in the voicemail. Appreciate that. Let's just break up the voicemails here with an email we got from listener Johnny Rankin. When you guys discussed whether or not Jerry was being sincere when looking for the champagne for George back in the engagement, Vinnie thought he was being sincere. Matt thought he wasn't. Johnny posits that not only was Jerry being insincere about the champagne, but he was being insincere about the entire engagement. So, Vinny, let's walk back a little bit. If Jerry was being insincere about the champagne, do you think he at least was happy for his friend?
Yes. I think initially he was happy his friend had gotten engaged, and it was such a big revelation, to hear this news. But then he mentions in a later episode, I forget which one, but I'm kind of getting a little depressed about George's wedding. He'll get married, they'll move, out of the city. I'll never see him again. So I'm sure that kind of crossed his mind too, which is why he may have had a little sarcasm or insincerity behind it.
Oh, funny. I think that's a very mature feeling to have,
Well, that's then. Maybe initially,
so this is what Johnny posits. He gives two examples, saying that Jerry's been known to encourage George's neurotic behavior for his own amusement a number of times, and he gives an example from the opposite. If every instinct you have is wrong, the opposite must be right. And I think we even talked about in that episode if Jerry was messing with George.
Oh, he was definitely egging him on back then.
Right, so there's evidence for that. And then I thought this was interesting in the Van Buren Boys, which we'll get to next season. Jerry's dating the seemingly perfect Ellen, played by Christine Taylor.
Oh, yeah.
And he breaks up with her when he finds out that others think there's something wrong with her, even though he can't figure it out. That kind of contradicts what Jerry says in the engagement to George when he's like, you think she's good looking, right? Or what do you think of her? Jerry's like, what difference does it make what I think? Don't worry about what other people think. All what matters is what you think.
I see.
So what Johnny is arguing is that it does matter what other people think, according to Jerry. So Jerry was kind of like sabotaging George by saying, it doesn't matter what other people think. Just go with it.
Okay, because he knows it's going to end in flames anyway?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
So, interesting examples there. I think that's sort of an extreme from the ground running. Jerry was trying to set George up for failure.
Put the kibosh.
But I liked his examples, just kind of fueling the fire, at least in the champagne argument. Was that genuine or not?
It's very appropriate evidence, but seeing that these are two best friends, I'd still like to think that he cared for his friend who got engaged, but I totally see where Johnny's coming from.
We've got a few more voicemails to play here. So we got all of those emails about David Berkowitz, what took you so long. But we, for some reason, seem to get a lot of the same voicemails. And I thought it was the same person calling. It wasn't. It was 3 different people. And we're going to play all 3 of them back to back. So hold on to your butts. I think it's up to you, Vinny, to decide who gave the best delivery. All right?
Okay.
So here we go.
Matt, it's Nico. Hey, you all set for the weekend? Oh, this is going to be great. You're going to have a great time with Vinny. All right, he's got that laugh. What do you say? It's like Elmer Fudd sitting on a juicer. Anyway, I was thinking that we'd take 2 guys up to the cabin, in case one of us wanted to stay,
Matt, it's Dustin from Texas. Hey, you all set for this weekend? This is going to be great. You're going to have a great time with Vinny. All right, he's got that laugh. What did you say? It's like I'm a fud sitting on a juicer? Anyways, I was thinking we take 2 cars to the cabin, in case one of us wants to stay,
Have you noticed that everyone is saying, "Hey, Matt"?
Why am I the juicer voice and you're the guy they go to?
Especially because I laugh probably 20 times more than you, and I have that.
You're like a hyena.
Yeah. Well, let's move on to the third one here.
Jerry, it's George. Hey, are you all set for the weekend? This is going to be great. You're going to have a great time with Naomi. All right. She's got that laugh. What did you say? It's like Elmer Fudd sitting on a juicer. Anyway, I was thinking that we'd take 2 cars up to the cabin, and that way, if one of us wanted to stay,
I love how they all cut off at the same point.
Yeah, so well done in the attention to detail. And the last one I felt like was like blatantly Jason Alexander's casting
Allen?
audition as Woody Allen.
Yes.
So, but well done for all 3. I appreciate the Elmer Fudd comparison, but it's okay.
I just thought that was such a weird coincidence. We'd get 3 of the same messages, and they were all phrased the same way. Hey, Matt, what'd you say about Vinny's laugh?
Yeah. All right, we heard it, Matt. That's enough. And going back to an old episode, too.
Well, sorry to interrupt, but I feel like at this point, the listeners realize there are only so many answering machine messages left, that we haven't played on the show yet.
Well, but I was thinking, it doesn't have to be limited to answering machine. It could just be to some sort of phone, interaction. I would love to hear just somebody go, "Matt, this phone's a piece of junk, goodbye," and then hang up,
Get ready, we're going to get 30 of those next week. Out of all 3 of them, though, which one was your favorite?
Well, I'm going with Eric the clown. He was the one who was most like George, so.
Yeah, I thought Nico really hit the juicer line.
Yes.
Well, like juicer, he just nailed that. I like Dustin's energy. Like that was the perfect. It wasn't too much, wasn't too little. But I thought Eric really went for it with the, as you put it, the Jason Alexander George audition with Woody Allen.
There you
voice. Go. Mm-hmm. Last voicemail here, guys. Then we're going to move on. I did not get this at all. I thought it was just an error on Google Voice. Mm-hmm. But I bet when you play it, Vinny, you're gonna get it.
Oh. How many catalogs did this guy order from the mail order service?
The deluxe package. Do you remember the name of the service?
Now We're Cooking?
Now We're Cooking, yeah. But I don't have the name of the person who sent that, but I thought that was just brilliant.
It's not a deep pull, but it's a unique pull. I really like it.
Yeah, I love that.
Well done.
Anyways, thanks to all of our listeners for calling in and all of the emails. If you've sent in an email or voicemail that we haven't brought up on the show, we'll try to do that in a future episode. But the more we get, the more I'm thinking we might need to do like a special like email voicemail episode.
Yeah.
Where we just kind of cover them all to keep things moving. But we're going to move on. Briefly here, I want to tell you about some upcoming Seinfeld trivia events I'll be hosting in New York in November. I'm going to be at the Stone Creek Tavern Thursday, November 3rd, The Hill Monday, November 7th, Big Daddy's Gramercy Park Wednesday, November 16th, and then I'll be back at Stone Creek Tavern on Monday, November 21st, and Monday, November 28th. That's the Monday before and after Thanksgiving. So Stone Creek seems to be my home base this month. And I won't be announcing these dates on future podcasts, but you can always check out our show notes for upcoming dates and locations. But yeah, that's it. Looking forward to seeing some listeners. Just had a run-in with listener Adam, who played trivia just like a week ago, destroyed it. He was the only guy there playing by himself, and he nailed it. It was just insane.
Impressive.
Yeah, it was really tough, too, because the one team that usually wins got second. Mm-hmm. And, they were very polite, but I don't think they were too happy to lose to
Adam, Jerry and a later here.
Yeah, so very impressive. So hopefully we can see some of you guys out at Seinfeld Trivia. But, Vinny, if listeners want to send us their thoughts on this week's episode, have a Seinfeld page, website they want plugged, or just want to say hello, how can they do that?
They can email us at seincast@gmail.com, find us on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, and now they can leave us a voicemail at Coco Bosco 262-622-6726.
Well, Vinny, what episode do we have this week?
We are discussing the second episode of Season 7, The Postponement, written by Larry David, directed by Andy Ackerman, and it originally aired September 28th, 1995.
This is one of those great, it's a two-parter. Typical, like, Larry David fashion, right? You got the Bubble Boy, Cheever Letters,
While at Watch, Pitch Ticket. We've been there before.
A Virgin Contest.
There it is.
All right. But on the topic of the postponement, or postponing an engagement, a wedding, I figured we could talk about two individuals here, Mr. Jerry Seinfeld and Mr. Larry David.
Wow.
Yeah. Apparently, I thought this was interesting. I never heard about this until I listened to the great commentary track on the DVD.
JLD and JA.
That's Julia Louis-Dreyfus and Jason Alexander. Jason mentioned on the commentary that Jerry was engaged in the 80s. He postponed the wedding, and then eventually he just called it off. Mm-hmm. Now, Jason was quoted as saying, not quite at the altar, but on the road to the temple. So, taking him literally, that's insane. But yeah. I think he was just kind of making a joke. It was very close to the actual wedding day.
Right.
First name that came to mind, and we don't bring her up on this podcast really, because we don't really get into people's like personal lives all that much. Mm-hmm. But Jerry was infamously dating a very young woman when he was producing and starring on Seinfeld. That's Shoshana Lonstein. Mm-hmm. She was, get ready for this, 17 years old when he was 39. So big age difference there.
Oh, my.
Yeah. Now, I thought that was who Jason was talking about when he said Jerry was engaged at one point, because Jerry and Shoshana broke up at some point in the 90s. But getting back to the 80s, I was wondering, who is this person? Is it Carol Leifer? Because apparently Jerry and Carol dated for a while.
But they weren't engaged, were they?
I don't think so, yeah. But we don't have a name who the person was. But
give us a name!
I found a 1986 interview with good old Dr. Ruth.
Oh, little Dr. Ruth.
Who I never thought would make an appearance on this show, but two things real quick. She's still alive. She's 88.
Wow.
And did you ever read that she was trained as a sniper in the Israel Defense Force?
I did not.
Because she's so short, like 4'10", I think.
Okay.
She couldn't really do much other than be a scout or be a sniper.
Oh, did not know that.
Yeah. Anyways, this is an interview from Dr. Ruth's show in the 80s, and I don't know exactly how much of this I'll play, but here's a clip.
I have sitting right next to me a very funny young man who has some wonderful observations on bachelor life. Welcome, Jerry.
Thank you.
Last time I told you that you have beautiful eyes. Now, I hoped that by this time you would be married, because I like people to be married.
What are you hawking me?
I do.
Stop hawking me.
I'm a real mother, and I want young men to be married.
Did you know that I was engaged?
No.
Okay, I was engaged.
When?
2 years ago. 2 years ago, I was engaged.
You're still engaged?
And let me tell you, no, I'm not engaged anymore. I was engaged, and I didn't do it. But let me tell you what it was like. Do you know what engagement is like? Have you been engaged, or you just got married?
No, I was engaged.
Okay.
What was it like for you?
Engagement to me is like the very first part of the roller coaster. If you're not at the top. It's that first thing. You're just tick, 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 and you're looking around. You don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what happens after you get engaged. I guess then you have that. That I haven't done that.
When are you going to do that?
No, that part is too scary. Just so far, tick, tick, tick.
So you
tick,
told
tick.
that girl goodbye? I don't want to get married?
You know what I said? The wedding was coming up. It was about 3 months to go to the wedding, and I said, no. I would say no. No, is what I would say. I would say
oh my God.
No.
And what did she say?
No.
And she said goodbye?
She said, yes, it was goodbye. That was it. See, I'm working all the time. I'm traveling all the time.
You're on shows, you come to my shows.
I'm on shows. I go on shows and talk about sex. Who wants to be married to somebody like that?
That's quite revealing for him to say, hey, this was 2 years ago, so that was 1984, he was engaged. And then 3 months before the wedding is when he called it off.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a wonderful comparison to going up a roller coaster, tick, 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 tick.
Which we heard last week during the engagement. So this is material, he always held on to. I wonder who the person was, just curious. But
I'm just curious, yeah.
But yeah, the link will be in our show notes if you want to see Dr. Ruth in her prime talking to Jerry Seinfeld. We should mention, though, Jerry did meet his current wife, Jessica, in 1998. I think it's the only time he's been married. They got married like a year after the show ended, December 25th, 1999. And I thought that was interesting because that's around the time George's current wedding is planned.
Santa, snow, all that stuff.
Yes. So, anyways, let's move on to Larry David. Larry David, to my knowledge, has only been married once, to Lori Leonard, on March 31st, 1993 in Las Vegas.
Hey, that's almost the first day of spring. Spring, rejuvenation, all that crap.
Good point. But
it writes itself.
On the commentary, Jason, he seems to know a lot about, well, he worked with them for 9 years, but he says that it was a long road to get Larry David to the altar. He really dragged his feet, apparently. And he also added, to imagine a man like this would marry and a woman would actually go, oh, I got to have that.
Yeah, he's kind of giving Larry a good ribbing there, isn't he?
But on a somewhat sad note, Larry and his wife, Lori, they did divorce back in 2007.
Amicably, yep.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, interesting that Jerry was the one who postponed the wedding. You'd think Larry would be, since he and George are so tied together.
Oh, yeah.
Let's move on to one other bit of trivia here before we get started. Figured we could talk about one of the, I would say, less popular secondary characters on Seinfeld. I don't hear a lot of people quoting him. Mm-hmm. He doesn't really come up on fan favorite lists, but an appropriate time to discuss Rabbi Kirschbaum, played by Bruce, I think, is it Mahler?
Sure.
Mahler, sure, okay. What do you think about Rabbi Kirschbaum? Are you a fan of this character?
I enjoy him. He's nowhere close to being a favorite, but I didn't realize he's only in 3 episodes, one being the finale. I thought he was like sprinkled throughout the latter 3 seasons, but we have this. We have, I think, the Serenity Now, and then
one scene in the Serenity Now.
One scene, and then the finale, which you only get snippets as well. You see him come out of an apartment. So for some reason, he kind of stuck in my psyche as being a more integral part to the show.
Well, I think these last 3 seasons are when they really build up the universe.
Yeah,
and a lot more connecting characters, a lot more regulars. So I think if you grew up with the last 3 seasons, like I did.
Yes.
For the most part. I don't know if you did. You were there really from the beginning.
I'm OG, baby.
I kind of lumped him in there with like Peterman, and Steinbrenner. Like, he's in all these episodes. But some trivia. This is pretty interesting. Named after writer, one of your favorites, writer of The Old Man, Bruce Kirschbaum.
Oh. He's also the one of the guys who's in the lineup when Kramer does the police lineup.
Yes, from The Beard.
Yes, he's the one Kramer's nudging. Pick this guy.
He has probably one of the most interesting heads of hair I've ever seen.
Interesting is a fair way to put it.
Very long,
wispy.
Thinning. Yeah, wispy. Mm-hmm. Right, but he also wrote The Conversion. He also has a story by credit, I think, on something else. But Bruce Kirschbaum, writer on the show.
I never put that together that was where the name came from, even though I know that writer's name and I know we have Rabbi Kirschbaum, and I never... Damn.
Now, the name is interesting because they refer to him as Rabbi Kirschbaum in this episode, yet...
Correct.
In a later episode, probably the Serenity Now, his name changes.
Yeah, it changes to Rabbi Glickman, but I can't recall when that name is uttered in the Serenity Now.
Now, I don't think they mention it by name. I think it's purely in the credits.
Oh.
Regardless, though, why change it?
Yeah, that seems like a continuity gaffe.
We do see that from time to time. Mm-hmm. I don't know if we've ever addressed it on this show, but the doctor... that delivers the bad news to George in the invitations.
So we got Dr. Wexler, and then
we saw
another
him,
name.
We saw him in the Junior Mint. I think he was either Wexler then or Wilcox. That's the other name.
Okay.
That kind of gets thrown around, even though it's the same character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, interesting that they would change it, but apparently a lot of viewers wrote in when this episode aired complaining about the portrayal of a gossiping rabbi.
Yes.
That was not well received by the Jewish community. I don't know if this was like an outpouring or if it was just, for these networks, a few letters is enough to say, people aren't happy.
Yeah.
But Jason Alexander, I don't think this is a surprise. He had such a big issue with the Moyle character in The Barber. Jason was not a fan of the rabbi character in the Postponement. He actually talked to Larry about it, how he found it offensive, and he really didn't like it. I don't hear as much outrage in his voice when he talks about it than the Moyle.
He found the Moyle character just kind of despicable, if I remember. And this one just was more irritating, that another Jewish character was being portrayed in a negative light. It seemed he had a problem with.
Right, and these are like these holy Jewish figures, a rabbi, a Moyle.
Yeah, right.
Those are the ones you're going to mock and ridicule.
What's interesting is, and maybe it's just because we don't know that much about Jason Alexander, the person or the actor. We only know him as George Costanza. But Larry David seems to be very ingrained in his faith, even though he's not religious. Judaism is very much a part of him. It makes sense that he would poke a little fun at some of these figures. I'm sure it's not out of disrespect. For
something like Larry David, he doesn't come off as a very religious Jewish person. He seems more cultural and traditional, based on the Curb episodes, right?
Well, that is gospel around here, isn't it?
But yeah, I wonder just if Jason tends to be more into the religious side of Judaism than Larry is.
That appears to be where they, come to these disagreements. So,
but we should mention at least the actor who played Rabbi Kirschbaum, Bruce Mahler. He has an interesting filmography.
Yeah, we're going to see him in 3 episodes of Seinfeld, The Postponement, Serenity Now, and the finale. I think most people will recognize him from the Police Academy movies, Police Academy 1, Police Academy 2. And then he was also in 3 and 6 as Doug Fackler.
Was one of those Mission to Moscow, or was that 8?
I don't know the little tags on them.
I just love that subtitle.
Why are you thinking about that? Think about this. He was also in one of your favorite parody movies. He was in Loaded Weapon 1.
Oh, man. Tell me. Who was he in?
He doesn't have a name. He plays District Attorney number 2.
Oh, man. It's been a while. Shoot. Well, I'm a big fan of that movie regardless.
And then he was in another movie that you and I both like, Scary Movie, the original. He played Homie number 2.
I don't remember that either.
I don't either. And then finally, I think where he fits in with the Seinfeld universe, he worked on Fridays with Larry. He was both a writer and performer. And that's where I think that friendship was made. And, of course, why Larry brought him in to play a role on Seinfeld. And
not only that, Larry and Bruce had these characters. They played rabbis on Fridays. And
that's right.
They had their own call-in TV show called Live and Be Well. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's so obvious why I think Larry wrote this character into the show and had Bruce play him.
I tried to find a clip of the sketch on YouTube. I couldn't find it, but those episodes are available on Hulu.
Oh,
so
nice.
If you want to put in some work, I've only watched the first couple. I haven't found them yet. But if we want to put in some work, we can maybe track down those rabbi sketches.
Well, I do have the Fridays DVD set that you gave me.
Ah, yeah.
Much appreciated. We need to have a viewing party next time we're together.
I'm down.
I've already flipped through a bunch of them, mainly the "How are you, Mr. Duty?" "Nice day, Mr. Duty." But those Friday skits, man, they are really weird. Anyways, let's move on to this week's episode. A cold open, no stand-up this week. I don't even know if we can call it a cold open because it kind of just flows into the rest of the scene after the commercial break.
Yeah.
Anyways, it opens up with Kramer trying to parallel park here on the street, but his I left the car blank here. What kind of car does Kramer drive?
He had it in the Fusilli Jerry. Remember? He parked it.
I want to say a Chevy Impala.
That sounds right.
Does that sound right?
I'm not certain, though.
Okay, well, let's say Chevy Impala for now. Way too long. It's a boat. Can't make it into the spot. So he manages to get in there, but he starts going back and forth.
Screeching, swiveling,
smashing
convulsing.
The cars, yeah.
He's bumping the front, he's bumping the back, and then finally he settles on this is where he's going to park.
Looks pretty good.
He's in.
Yeah, so Elaine and Jerry are talking across the street here, and we kind of wrap up last week's dog arc. The rabbi in her building, he's a nice man.
Isn't he the one with the show on cable?
Yeah, that's the one. Elaine spoke to him about the dog, and he talked to the owner. The owner agreed to keep the dog inside from now on. So that's over and done with. Thank God we don't have to worry about the dog anymore. And as they continue walking, Jerry brings up, hey, we haven't really discussed George's engagement, and Elaine puts up a wall. Do you feel that? What's to discuss?
It looks like they're going to be planting the seed of Elaine's jealousy and just not being happy with George's engagement. And this is the first sign of her resentment, jealousy, right?
Absolutely. And there's kind of a fun little joke here that I don't know if it plays. The scene ends with Elaine asking, is he happy?
And immediately cut to George coming out of the bathroom at Monk's, wanting to discuss a topic with Susan.
I will never understand the bathrooms in this country. Why is it that the doors on the stalls do not come all the way down to the floor?
Well, maybe so you can see if there's someone in there.
Isn't that why we have locks on the doors?
Well, as a backup system, in case a lock is broken, you can see if it's taken.
A backup system? We're designing bathroom doors with our legs exposed in anticipation of the locks not working? That's not a system. That's a complete breakdown of the system.
Can we change the subject, please?
Why, what's wrong with the subject? This is a bad subject?
No, fine. If you want to keep talking about it, we'll talk about it.
It's not that I want to keep talking about it. I just think that the subject should resolve itself based on its own momentum.
Well, I didn't think that it had any momentum.
How am I going to do this? I'm engaged to this woman? She doesn't even like me. Change the subject. Toilets were the subject. We don't even share the same interests.
You gotta love snorts.
Snorts.
Put that one in.
Did you listen to the commentary on the DVD?
I did.
Did you hear what Jason had to say about the snorting?
Yeah, he said it came out during, one take in an episode, and he got a laugh, so he started to keep doing it.
But it was purely accidental. It wasn't on purpose. Brilliant.
The Hollywood gods are with this show.
Now, Vinny, I want your honest opinion about something.
Have I ever been less than forthright?
No, you haven't. Well, maybe you have. What do I know?
Yeah, I probably have. Yeah, of course I have. What am I talking about?
Love that. That, again, we say this a lot. Pure Larry Jerry dialogue there. What do you think about this idea of the stalls extending all the way to the floors? Does it make sense? Do you like it personally? Do you have a preference?
I do personally like it. And I do recall there was a facility, I forget which building it was, at Michigan State, that had a long row of stalls with very long doors. I don't know if they were all the way to the floor, but I always remarked that the quantity of stalls, so because you could always go in the corner and be tussled away and away from everybody else, but you also had a lot of privacy so people couldn't see underneath.
We're talking like maybe 2 inches, right?
Yeah.
Like there's no way you could like stick a hand under it.
Yeah.
And it's
I was always thrilled when I was on that side of campus.
I remember those. Yeah, they were in the older buildings, I think.
But when we went to school, I remember this episode and I was like, there it is. That's the idea, stalls all the way to the ground. Hide your feet. Fantastic idea.
Well, I wanted to mention at least that the stall idea does get brought up in a later episode. It also gets thrown about in the calzone.
That's right. And what does Big Stein think about that idea?
I forget, actually. I just remember the pitch.
So in the opening of the calzone, George is in a meeting at Yankee Stadium, and he says, I believe the doors on the bathroom stalls here at Yankee Stadium don't offer much in the way of privacy. But I was thinking if we extend the doors all the way to the floors.
Oh yeah. He's like, what are you talking about? Extending the doors? That's crazy.
all the way to the floor? What are you, crazy? You'd suffocate in there. You're lucky you have any doors at all. When I was in the Army, hey, Costanza, what are you eating over there?
And that's right.
He trails off.
Right. Okay. So it is really just a throwaway joke. Mm-hmm. I love that you mentioned the ventilation, though, or like the suffocation, because there was some deleted dialogue later in the episode where Jerry and George, I think Jerry's returning from the bathroom.
Yes.
And he mentions to George, hey, I was just in the bathroom and the door really should be lower to the floor unless it's for ventilation. And then great discussion here. George says, well, I would take privacy over ventilation any day.
To which Jerry responds, that, my friend, is a very personal choice. The need for privacy versus the need for ventilation. Those are the two greatest needs that a human being has in a bathroom.
That is brilliant, man. I love that.
Mm-hmm. Should have kept that in.
So I think we're both in agreement that the bathroom stall should be lowered, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, that's a must, but maybe not all the way to the floor. I've always had a hang up with the space they provide. Also the space between the door and the frame.
Anybody who wants to can look right through and see what you're doing in there.
We might have talked about this before. Have you ever walked by a stall and you look and you can see the person look up at you?
You make eye contact with them. I used to try and position my book bag or jacket with the hook in there so it would close that gap.
Also, if I'm ever doing my business in a stall and I hear someone come in, I'll stop what I'm doing.
Oh, see, I make noise so they know I'm in there.
Oh.
Someone's in here.
Oh, I'll hold it all until I think they're gone.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember there was this one time at the gym where I was using the stall. There was someone in there, and they were taking a long time, and then they stopped making noise, and I'm like, I think they're gone. And I started going again.
You let it rip.
And then they made a noise, and I panicked and stopped. Let's talk about some ventilation and privacy. What matters more to you?
I would want privacy.
Right.
But I mean, ventilation is really important. I've never, felt the need for more ventilation.
And we're not talking about, I don't think George is talking about extending the doors to the floor and the ceiling. It's not like you're going to be in a little capsule there. That would be rough.
You just want your feet hidden.
Right. Well, anyways, let's get back to just this George and Susan scene. Are you picking up on any tension or any kind of awkwardness like we talked about last week, between Jason and Heidi?
I don't see anything between actors. I definitely see tension between characters, Susan and George. Already I think in his mind, he's like, what have I gotten myself into? He said, I'm going to marry this woman.
Her patience is very short when she says, can we change the subject, please? She does the smile and the eyes are kind of closed. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I did notice Heidi's delivery, at least now that I was looking for it. It's very a casual kind of delivery and kind of not a slow pace, but just there's something very soothing about her delivery. Whereas Jason is going very, fast and hostile. So I don't know if maybe that was something. I mean, I'm just looking for something now that we got it under magnifying glass.
No sense in doing it every episode, but I think it's interesting, at least early on, because you do see how different these people are, not only how the characters are written, but how the actors perform. And I like that side of Heidi where she's really calm, she's really normal, but let's say for whatever reason that wasn't intentional, that's just the way she acts. Yeah. I could definitely see how Jason had trouble with that, because if you watch Jason the actor perform in this episode, he is all over the place.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's at an 11, then he's down to a 3. He's just bouncing all over the place. That has to be tough.
But it makes sense, and it's so enjoyable to see this character. He made his bed. He impulsively got engaged to a woman he hadn't seen in years, and now he's got a lie in it. And he's going through the turmoil of having to come to grips with, I got to marry this girl. So not only do we get a great Jason storyline, this arc for the season, but Elaine is also getting a really meaty storyline, this jealousy and this resentment toward George, which I think you commented how she's going to be getting meatier stuff as the latter third of the series as this goes on.
For sure, absolutely. And one last note we should bring up here before we move on. George bringing up bathroom stalls. I mean, that's same camp as toilet paper, best toilets in the city.
Yep.
Manure, kind of.
The eye toilet.
Right, the eye toilet. Anyways, let's move over to Jerry's apartment. Jerry and Elaine arrive, and to answer that question, Vinny, from earlier, is he happy?
Yes, he's pretty happy.
Yeah. Elaine stopped off for some groceries and a pack of beer, which is a great visual. Did you notice that some were missing?
I was wondering about that. Were there 6 when she came in?
No. Okay, so there wasn't. There's only 3 on the pack when she comes in.
Because I specifically noticed when she leaves, there's only 2 left on the 6-pack. So I wasn't. We only see her drink one. I thought maybe we were being led to believe that she had drank 4, and there were only 2 left.
I thought the same thing, or they were Jerry's and he put some away, but they didn't show it. But yeah, she only walks in with 3. So I wonder if she was just drinking on the street on their walk.
Perhaps. Again, she's down in the dumps, and it's great Elaine stuff this episode.
Right. Well, she is down in the dumps, and Jerry can pick up on this. She isn't too happy about George's engagement. One could say she's curbing her enthusiasm. Jerry thought that, she'd have some kind of reaction.
Well, I don't.
And
that gets a laugh, just the cracking of the beer.
Oh, it's very similar to the yank it like you're starting a mower.
Pretty good.
Anyways, Jerry can see through all of this, and he's trying to get his friend to confess that you're a little jealous, and maybe you wish that you were the one getting married instead. Laney.
Jerry.
And, I thought Jerry was a real jerk this episode because he really makes things difficult for Elaine. She's sad, depressed, and he kind of makes fun of her for this. But it's not that. It's more that she wasn't honest with him.
Jerry knows how she really feels, and because she's not being open with him, that's why he's kind of prodding her.
That's what I think.
Okay.
It makes him less of a jerk, I think, because
he's not a jerk, Jer.
What do you think, though? Or do you think he is being a jerk?
He's definitely. I have in my notes that he's got this very just cavalier attitude, and he's turning the screws to everybody in the episode. George, but really Elaine. We're gonna see in later seasons as well. Very casual. He's reading the paper with his feet on the table, not really providing much insight.
Great scene.
He's throwing nuts in his mouth.
Smelling flowers.
Yeah, he's getting off on being withholding.
Whoa, Buster.
Sorry. He's not being a jerk, but he's not being considerate.
Right. Well,
and I would argue. Oh, see, finish your.
No. Go. What would you argue?
Because I'm going to go off on a different tangent.
Well, all I'm saying is this: if Elaine just was frank with Jerry and said, "Hey, I am a little jealous. It makes me a little sad. I don't know how to process my feelings." One, that would make for a horrible sitcom, but
not funny.
If she said that, I don't think Jerry would make fun of her for it.
No, I don't think so either.
It's the fact that he knows she's not being honest, and then he catches her later. So
it becomes fair game to poke fun at her because she's being dishonest.
Right.
I would point out that this is the crucial turning point, the catalyst that we see where Elaine transitions from the middle third to the final third. The leather jacket, shiny shirt wearing Elaine that just doesn't care anymore is going to bat through the order again of Men in the City. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah. But I think there's still some hope in her left. There's still some light in there. But anyways, Kramer enters.
There's good in her. I felt it.
Kramer enters very concerned about the dog napping. The whole thing is going to be on their permanent records.
Oh, dear.
Oh, is that Nana?
Oh yeah.
Dear. Anyways, did you notice when Kramer, he's going on and about my permanent record, my reputation is ruined. I'll never be able to get a job now. Mm-hmm. Jerry gives him this look.
Yeah, he's like, really, Kramer?
I was wondering what you thought of that look because he looks really mad in that moment.
Yeah,
but
he's quite frustrated with Kramer that he's being so ridiculous over this incident.
Well, Kramer starts ranting about all of the hard work down the drain because of one stupid mistake, and Jerry starts feeding the flames how they have to change the system.
Well, I could care less. I hope it is on my record. I'm just sorry they don't lock me up. And then Kramer and Jerry share a look as if, oh dear.
Oh dear, yeah, something's up with Elaine. There's something really sad about seeing Elaine just drinking her worries away.
Yeah, we don't see that much alcohol consumption in Seinfeld. I mean, we see the Hennigans, bit early on, but they really don't. And then Elaine's going to have the jokingly addiction to schnapps.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
But we don't see a obscene amount of alcohol consumption, and this is specifically for depression.
Right. I guess the only other person would be Dick.
Dick.
Anyways, we're outside of Elaine's apartment, and she runs into the rabbi. and it's always a pleasure to see her. He can pick up something's wrong. She seems, if you may say, troubled. Troubled. So he invites her upstairs to talk. And
he has a interesting way of speaking to Elaine. Would you agree?
I would agree, and I have a really good clip later to play from the Rabbi and Elaine. But let's cut back to Jerry's apartment. George enters, and you gotta love this scene. He starts very calm. It's just a normal scene, but he gets pretty charged and starts pacing around the room eventually. The entire time, though, Jerry's just sitting at the table.
Feet are on his kitchen table. He's reading the paper. Doesn't have a care in the world. I don't even think he makes eye contact with George.
He just turns the page with each response. It's crazy.
Tell me what you think about this idea. Extend the doors on the toilet stalls at Yankee Stadium all the way to the floor.
Extend the doors on the toilet stalls at Yankee Stadium to the floor. Door comes down. Hide your feet. Yes. I like it. I like it a lot.
It's good, right?
I think it's fantastic. I think it's a fantastic idea.
You do?
Yes, I do.
Well, I told it to Susan before, and she didn't like it. Yeah, not only that, this is what she said to me. Can we change the subject?
See, now that I don't care for.
Right. I mean, we're on a subject. Why does it have to be changed?
It should resolve of its own volition.
That's exactly what I said, except I used the word momentum.
Momentum, same thing.
Same thing. My God, I'm getting married in December. Do you know that?
Yeah, I know.
Well, I don't see how I'm going to make December. I mean, I need a little more time. I mean, look at me. I'm a nervous wreck. My stomach aches. My neck is killing me. I can't turn. Look.
You're turning.
No, it's not a good turn. December. Don't you think we should have a little more time just to get to know each other a little?
If you need more time, you should have more time.
What, you think I could postpone it?
Sure you can. Why not?
That's allowed? You're allowed to postpone it?
I don't see why not.
So I could do that?
Sure, go ahead.
All right. I'll tell you what, how about this? I got the day. March 21st, the first day of spring.
Spring, of course.
Huh? You know, spring. Rejuvenation, rebirth. Everything's blooming, all that crap.
Beautiful.
She's not gonna like it.
No, she's not.
You know, I think I'm a little bit scared of her. She's 5'3", like 100 pounds. I'm frightened to death of her.
Well, she's a woman. You don't like to be disappointed.
Especially her. She does not like disappointment. Well, I have to do it. I can't make December. There's no way I can make December, right? You can see that, right? I mean, look at me. You can see. Look. Can I make December? I can't make December, right? Look.
Yeah, you better shoot for March.
March 21st.
I absolutely love when George presents this idea of the stalls, bring them down all the way to the floor. And Susan says, can we change the subject? That's when Jerry kind of perks his interest. And he points to George and says, see, now that I don't care for. Like that struck a chord with him that made him, look up from his paper.
I mean, there's so many different, dynamics to the Jerry-George relationship, but this is one of the best where they're on the same page. Mm-hmm. And you could just imagine Larry and Jerry having the same conversation.
Yeah, and this is them discussing the protocol, the etiquette of a conversation, which Susan doesn't subscribe to, and it irks both of them. And I love this conversation. It could be done at Monk's. It could be done walking down the street, but here it's done in Jerry's living room. And I specifically started using the word volition as a result of this episode. And whenever somebody asks me what volition means, I respond, momentum, same thing.
Another great thing that George does here, and I still do this to this day, it's when I know I'm really tense, the neck turn.
Yes.
Not a good turn.
And again, I don't analyze neck turns every day, but it really looks like he's grinding his neck when he's trying to turn side to side. I believe it.
I have noticed, though, I have trouble turning my head to the left very far.
Oh.
Is that something?
Can't go left. You're righty.
And I guess we could kind of tie this into that email we got from Johnny earlier. Is Jerry kind of setting George up for failure here by suggesting, sure, why not? Why can't you postpone the wedding?
Yeah, this I agree with. He, and we're gonna learn in the next scene. He lives and breathes. He knows what Susan's reaction is gonna be to the proposal of a postponement.
Mm-hmm.
So he can't do December, which is 3 months away. So this is like present time in September, because that's when the episode was aired. Okay, so there's no like odd time.
I mean, this is around the beginning of fall. So it's nicely spread out, every 3 months, even when it gets postponed even longer until like late June. It's June.
Oh, that's right.
So everything is a nice, every season pretty much. Anyways, George is so moved that Jerry is going to back him up on this postponement. He adds that, Jerry, if you killed someone, I wouldn't even turn you in. And that's a compliment.
Jerry is so flattered by that statement. He's nodding with a smile on his face. He's really touched that George would offer that to him.
Well, as George leaves, Kramer enters, and Jerry wonders, "Hey, Kramer, if I killed someone, would you turn me in?"
Definitely.
You would turn me in.
Wouldn't even think about it.
I can't believe what I'm hearing. You're supposed to be a friend of mine.
What kind of person are you going around killing people?
Well, I'm sure I had a good reason.
Well, if you killed this person, who's to say I wouldn't be next?
But you know me.
I thought I did.
I know we're not the best actors, and it's pretty boring to hear people recite dialogue, but that is just such a great back and forth.
So fun.
Mm-hmm. Oh man.
Who do you side with in this argument here?
Objectively, I side with Kramer.
Okay.
Because I was thinking, actually, if you killed someone, I wouldn't call up the police and be like, swarm. But I would talk to you first and get the facts, sort of like what happened.
Right. What's the reason you killed somebody?
And then convince you to turn yourself in.
Kramer's very black and white in his judgment of Jerry killing somebody.
Right.
Whereas, yeah.
Well, I'm thinking the Smog Strangler. What happened in that situation?
Well, they called the police to say Kramer didn't do it.
That's right. So, I don't know if that's the same thing.
So they had his back.
Kramer would be like, yeah, he did it.
He's in apartment 5A in 129 West 81st Street.
Yeah, 5A. Okay, anyways. Let's cut over to the rabbi's apartment, and here's that great clip with Elaine.
I really appreciate your taking time to talk with me, Rabbi. I'm not of your faith. In fact, I'm not a very religious person, but I do feel as if I'm in need of some guidance here.
Would you care for a snack of some kind? I have these snack wells, which are very popular, although I think sometimes with the so-called fat-free cookies, people may overindulge, forgetting that they may be high in calories.
No. Thank you. I'm not very hungry. Anyway, this friend of mine, George, got engaged.
How wonderful.
Yeah. Well, for some reason, I find myself just overcome with feelings of jealousy and resentment.
Doesn't it give you any joy to see your friend enter into this holiest of unions?
No, it doesn't. No joy whatsoever. It just, the whole thing makes me sick.
Elaine, very often we cannot see the forest for the trees.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
Well, for example, say there's a forest.
Yeah, see, the thing is, Rabbi, it should have been me. I'm smart. I'm attractive.
My temple has many single functions.
Oh, no, that's okay.
My nephew Alex is someone who's also looking. Perhaps I could...
I
He owns a flower store. Very successful.
I really like this clip, and this is one of the reasons I like Rabbi Kirschbaum. When he says to Elaine, I have this nephew, Alex, and he goes, perhaps I, and he rubs his hands together, as if bringing this, two halves together. Mm-hmm. It's a really unique way in which he does it, but that always kind of sticks out to me.
He owns a flower store. Very successful.
I don't think so.
It's funny, for a character that just I don't think is that popular, amongst Seinfeld friends. He is fun to quote.
Yeah.
You know?
And he's got that distinct delivery as well.
I need to revisit those skits from Fridays with Larry. I wonder if he did the same delivery, the same voice.
Remember we watched that one Fridays episode? I think I made you watch it where...
Made me.
I did. I forced you.
There are some tough episodes.
But it's Bruce Mahler and another actor, and they're at this bar. And each time they're talking about each other's day, each time an actor responds, it's hard to describe. But
while you're talking, I'm taking a sip of water.
Right. And then
when it's my turn to respond,
water comes out. Like, they don't swallow the water, it just sits in their mouth. So with each response, water comes out, and it just gets everywhere. It's actually a funny little skit, I thought.
It was incredible. And I don't know, they probably go through like a gallon of water. Like, it's a really funny premise. But yeah, this scene here, we get some great quotes from the rabbi about snack wells.
I remember snack wells.
Oh, yeah. They were disgusting, but... Mm-hmm. And this is where I learned the difference between calories and fat.
Hey, good for you.
Thanks. Didn't help me much. Any good quotes in here that you like? Snack wells? I'm sure you remember those.
No, I enjoy the very successful.
Yes. That's a good one.
A lot of good ones.
Yeah. I do like the, we cannot see the forest for the trees.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, we should mention that Elaine is not Jewish. I guess really Jerry is Jewish. George is sort of Jewish. Mm-hmm. And I don't think Kramer or Elaine. Yeah, Elaine's Catholic.
Right. We don't know about Kramer.
Yeah, we don't know. Let's cut over to the sidewalk. I'm going to argue that Kramer is leaving a Java world.
Sure.
So Jerry is still a little hurt that Kramer would turn him in, calls him a stoolie.
Hey, don't do the crime if you can't do the time.
Yeah. Kramer is drinking another cafe latte, and Jerry calls him out, for being so trendy.
Hey, baby, I set the trends. Who do you think started this whole cafe latte thing?
I don't recall you drinking cafe lattes.
Hey, I've been drinking cafe latte since the 5th grade, and I haven't looked back. That is great.
Yeah, solid stuff.
I gotta say, I get vanilla. I'm ashamed of myself. I call them vanilla lattes. I don't say latte.
Latte.
No.
It's hard, right, to get it right?
Well, now that I'm thinking about it, but I say it regular when I go get it. But I want to start saying cafe latte.
It's a subtle pronunciation where, it's off, but you can't quite put your finger on it.
But I think it has to be followed, or at least preceded by cafe. You can't say vanilla latte. Well, you could say vanilla latte. But it sounds better saying cafe latte.
Now, what we're talking about here is Michael Richards was known for mispronouncing words.
Yes.
Just slightly. And the correct pronunciation would be a cafe latte.
Correct. But he'll either mispronounce or put emphasis on a different syllable. Examples that come to mind right now, theater. Mm-hmm. He says, and then they pointed out in the commentary as well, California instead of California.
That's a great one.
Which, now that I think about it, I'm like, yeah, he does call it California. I'm trying to think of what... And at the table reads, they used to kind of sit and watch and see what was the word that he was gonna mispronounce. And there's still debate as to whether he did this intentionally, or was it just his genius of, I'm going to mispronounce this word to just give a little nuance to the Kramer character. Nobody knows.
I'm having trouble telling the difference between a latte and a latte. It's so subtle, right?
Latte.
Latte.
You know it when you hear it.
It really is just the delivery. It isn't pronunciation.
Well, say
emphasis, as you put it.
Say vanilla latte and then say cafe latte.
Vanilla latte, cafe latte.
Cafe latte.
It's driving me crazy.
Yeah.
But this scene did influence me at a young age. I started drinking coffee around 14 or so, like right when I got into high school. And because of this scene, I always ordered cafe lattes.
So that's where it started.
Mm-hmm. But every time we go out, for coffee, you pointed it out earlier, I'll just get like a black coffee or something. You will always get an iced vanilla latte.
That's my coffee drink.
No matter what time of year it is, you'll always get that.
But I never say latte, which pisses me off.
Well, as they're walking, Jerry notices a flyer for an upcoming Plan 9 from Outer Space screening, and we get a great callback here.
Hey, we
this plane Light from Outer Space is playing tomorrow night. One show only.
I've always wanted to see this.
You know why I was supposed to see this 5 years ago? I was in a Chinese restaurant with George and Elaine. We got all screwed up trying to get a table. We missed it.
Yeah, well, let's do it.
All right.
What a treat to have them reference one of the great early Seinfeld episodes, the Chinese restaurant.
Yeah, I love this. And I'm sure during our discussion of the Chinese restaurant, we brought up this episode.
I wouldn't put it past us.
Okay. Not only a cool callback, but there's some cool like continuity there. You know, Kramer wasn't in that episode.
That's right.
So he's really hearing this for the first time.
Excellent. You're right.
Anyways, as they walk away, Jerry throws away a gum wrapper, missing the trash can, and Kramer calls him out for being a litter bug. And we're back to, turning him into the police conversation.
Hey, pig.
That's right. The scofflaw, right?
Yeah.
You don't throw trash in my town.
This is my town.
Well, next scene, we're at George's apartment, and this is great. George arrives home, very awkward from the start.
Keep in mind the blocking of this scene, yes.
Right, so he walks in. Where's Susan?
She's on the couch reading a magazine.
Mm-hmm. And this dialogue is important, too. It's like, hi, how are you? How's your day? Good day.
Good day, good day.
He gives her a little kiss, and he goes over to his desk, drops off the mail, keys jacket, whatever. Lowers want to get together on Friday night.
The Lowers, really? Oh, you don't want to go? I noticed the way Susan said, "Oh, the Lowers want to get with us on Friday night." That kind of stuck out to me.
Oh God! Well, apparently the Lowers. This is kind of cool trivia. Those are friends of Larry David.
Oh, okay.
So he wrote him into the show.
Cool.
So George isn't sure how to bring up the postponement. He's feeling kind of awkward. Like he's not really chatty. He's really quiet.
And then you see him kind of. He takes a second and pause to kind of think, do I go for it? And he kind of jumps in. There's a little hesitation, then finally does.
Oh! 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 I had an unbelievable idea today.
Oh, yeah, the toilets. You told me.
Yeah, no, it's not the toilets. It's not the toilets. It's something else. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Okay, how about this?
No.
All right.
Okay.
We get married. March 21st, the first day of spring.
What do you mean? You want to postpone the wedding?
No. This has got nothing to do with postponing. I just think the first day of spring is the perfect day to get married. Spring, rejuvenation, rebirth, everything's blooming, all that.
If you don't want to marry me, George, just say so. Just say so.
No, still marry.
No, you don't love me.
No, still love.
My friends told me that you were too neurotic and that I was making a mistake.
No mistake. No, listen, we're gonna get married over Christmas, really. It doesn't make any difference to me. It's fine, really.
You sure?
Yeah, sure. Christmas, snow, Santa, all that stuff.
Poor bastard, as we'll find out later. I mean...
Well, he really went into this engagement willy-nilly or pell-mell,
Yeah. And I'm sure this happens a lot, too. Weddings getting postponed. Especially if you're rushing into it 3 months ahead of time. I mean, unless you're going to the courthouse to get married.
Or Vegas.
I mean, 3 months, God almighty, that just seems like such a short time, especially considering, the parents haven't met, and they seem to be somewhat traditional.
Yeah.
I would think Susan, coming from a very wealthy family, I would think they would want like a big wedding.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But, yeah, I think that George's level of enthusiasm and Susan's reaction is just so perfectly real.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like the guy going way over the top to try to make it sound good. And
she sees right through it and knows kind of what his motives are.
Right. Or at least that fear. You can't help but think.
You don't want to marry me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. So she cried. He caved. What's the line Jerry has at Monk's?
I live and breathe, my friend. I live and breathe.
He knows everything.
One of my favorite lines of his.
There's some good Jerry relationship wisdom here. Few men have the constitution to push through while the partner's crying.
Yep.
And that's why breakups take 2 or 3 tries. Got to build up your immunity.
Mm-hmm.
And that sounded kind of familiar, right?
Yeah. This notion of it takes a couple tries to kind of end a relationship, right?
Of course.
Thinking of the vending machine, rocking it back and forth.
Yeah, this kind of feels like an early version of that joke.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it gets a little more visual with the vending machine, but
what a solid foundation to start a marriage on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least you probably had some pretty good makeup sex afterwards.
I didn't have any sex.
You didn't have makeup sex? How could you not have makeup sex? That's the best feature of the heavy relationship.
I missed out on the makeup sex.
In your situation, the only sex you're going to have better than makeup sex is if you're sent to prison and you have a conjugal visit.
Yeah, conjugal visit sex. That is happening.
Look, I can tell you're very upset, but I'm sorry. I'm not going.
Did you hear that? I can't believe this. Look at this guy. He's eating a sandwich.
Are you gonna eat those fries?
This is amazing. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm going back in. Feel better.
Poor bastard.
Anytime Jerry says bastard, I'm happy.
And yeah, he was just in the other booth saying fat bastard.
He's always about to sip some coffee and say bastard under his breath. I love that look.
Oh, yeah.
We learn about the concept of makeup sex in this clip.
Yes.
Which apparently is the best feature of the heavy relationship.
Another thing I learned from Seinfeld.
Thank you. Tell me something I don't know. And this notion of makeup sex also comes back in The Sponge. George and Susan have a fight.
Yes.
And he has to actually go out and get condoms because she's
just
out of birth control.
once for the makeup sex.
No, you got to have that right after the fight.
Oh, yeah, we're way past that.
And this also reminds me of when Jerry hosted SNL. And this is when the HBO series Oz was quite popular. And Jerry is discussing with Tobias Beecher how he missed out on the
No, hang on. Before we explain it, what's the neo-Nazi guy? J.K. Simmons.
Oh, crap.
Schillinger?
Yeah, that sounds right.
He walks by, right? And like Beecher is his bitch. So the neo-Nazi gives Beecher a dirty look as he walks by. And then, actually, can I play the clip?
I would love you to play the clip.
Okay, I'll play the clip. Great stuff here.
What is with you two?
First I was his bitch. Then he burnt a swastika into my ass. And then I took a crap in his face. And that started a whole thing.
Tell me about it. I once dated a girl who I think was always wearing the same dress.
Anyway, and then he broke every bone in my body. I thought we were gonna make up. And he nailed me to the gym floor.
So did he try to?
No. Nothing happened.
You missed out on the makeup sodomy?
Missed out on the sodomy.
The makeup sodomy is the best part of being nailed to a gym floor.
Missed out, baby.
Great stuff there. That was a fantastic skit because they're actually on the Oz set.
Yeah.
With almost all of the characters.
And I do remember the other great bit. Well,
It's dark.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that one. It's with Adebisi. If you watch it, you'll know.
If I can find a link, I'll put it in the show notes. It's a great one. It's funny too because I didn't know what Oz was at the time, and I was watching that for Jerry, and then I obsessed over that skit, and then I eventually watched Oz, and I'm like, oh, that's Adebisi. Oh, that's this guy. That's this. I get it now.
Oh, that's why they missed out on the makeup sodomy.
Now, something else happens in this scene other than the makeup sex, whatnot. We also bring up conjugal visit sex.
Yes, conjugal visit sex. That is happening.
Interesting concept that gets brought up in The Little Jerry when he dates Celia Morgan.
The convict.
Mm-hmm.
So if all things go right.
Don't jinx it. Don't jinx it.
Don't jinx it.
What's better than conjugal visit sex?
Fugitive sex.
So at a table near Jerry and George, there's a couple, a guy and a girl, as you heard in that clip, and the guy tells the girl, I'm sorry, but I'm not going. They're breaking up, I guess. And she's just crying. And what does he ask for? You gonna finish those fries?
George's reaction is so wonderful. This is amazing. And he's eating a sandwich.
He's got a sandwich now.
Yeah, it gives him hope and confidence to, I'm going back in.
I love that when he's like, thank you. Feel better.
Feel better.
Did you hear this in the commentary? Apparently Jason saw like a famous actor at a restaurant eating with a fellow famous actress. And the actress was just crying. And he was just sitting there totally ignoring her, just eating his dinner. And he'd reach over and take food from her plate.
And so Jason relays this story to Larry, who ends up putting this scenario in the episode.
Now, don't you want to know who the actor and actress were?
I'm dying to know who the actor and actress are.
God almighty. I was wondering if it was like, I'm like Alec Baldwin and Kim Basinger, but I don't think that syncs up.
Who was together? My first thought, but it's impossible because they weren't even a couple yet, was Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. Again, not that
It's
bright.
like 15 years later.
Shut it.
All right, anyways, we're outside of Elaine's apartment, and Jerry runs into the rabbi. And how does this evening find him, Vinny?
Well, Rabbi, well.
As Jerry is about to enter the building, the rabbi mentions that he spoke with Elaine earlier and hopes she's feeling better. And it doesn't take much prodding. The rabbi just spills the beans. Elaine is feeling bitter and hostile about George's engagement, wishes she was the one getting married, doesn't even think much of George.
I recall the word loser being peppered throughout her conversation.
And we cut over to George's apartment, and it's great that you mentioned, remember the blocking, because it's the same blocking in this scene, right?
Yep. George comes in. How was your day? Good
day.
Yes. Good, very good day. Susan's on the couch again reading a magazine. And then he goes over to the table again, drops off the keys, but this time he releases some pellets, and they fall and make a lot of noise on the table.
Oh, how quickly you forget, my friend.
What's he got there?
Do you remember on a previous podcast, I mentioned, I think we were talking about the gerbil or the hamster cage. And I said there's a scene in an episode when George like drops food in there. It's like the only allusion to there being a living creature in there.
Uh-huh.
And you said he drops in change, like on the table.
Go on. About to eat some crow here.
And I just want to say that I'm 100% sure it is food.
I'm 100% sure it's not change. I was dead wrong. And it looks like, it sounded like marbles, but it's got to be
marbles?
it's got to be hamster food.
Yeah. It is funny though how you have these elaborate, cages set up and you never see the animal.
Yeah.
The mammal, whatever.
He's dead.
But let's get into the clip here.
Could I talk to you for a minute?
Yeah, sure.
All right. You see, this is the thing. I just feel like I can't do this anymore. I just feel like I need a little more time because I just feel like I'm not ready yet. I'm frightened and I'm scared. I just feel like we need a little more time to get to know each other. I'm too nervous sometimes. But I can do it in March, I promise. I promise no more postponements. I just need to report one, please. I just report.
Oh, of course it can wait till March if that's what you want.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry. Yes, of course.
I think Jason's the one who deserves the Emmy for this episode.
Dude, no kidding. The fact that this guy never won is just insane.
And I am so seeing George Costanza here. I forget that this is an actor, a renowned, classically trained, theater actor playing this neurotic George Costanza, Mm-hmm. It's great.
Now, we'll find out later that these tears were genuine for the George character. But did you ever think that George was faking it?
Not here. No.
Not here. Okay, because big Matt moment, but up until this rewatch, I just always thought George was putting on an act. Maybe I was forgetting the dialogue we'll get later, but it just seemed kind of out of character for George one to cry. Well, Home Alone, that made him cry. But for George to cry like this, you know.
That's his fear. He's terrified.
Yeah, like it's genuine. And you don't really see that side of George all that often. I just always thought he was faking it here for some reason.
You know, I faked it.
Okay. Next scene, we're at Elaine's apartment. And before we get started, did you ever think it was weird why Jerry was at Elaine's apartment before the movie, since she doesn't go?
Well, she had that magazine article for Jerry.
Right. Again, something else I never noticed. There's that weird ADR. I have that magazine article for you. So they were covering their bases.
Right. Apparently, in the early draft of the script, Jerry was going to Elaine's apartment because she was going to come along to see Plan 9. And then Jerry was going to talk about this whole deal with the rabbi, and then even how he liked the rabbi so much that he was going to start going to temple. And after their little chat, Elaine was, so upset that she decided she wasn't going to go to the movie anymore.
Explaining why it's just Kramer and Jerry.
Exactly. And that's originally why Jerry went over to Elaine's.
Okay. So that ADR, I have that magazine article for you. That must have been an interesting discussion in the edit bay. What line can we have here to explain why Jerry is there if Elaine was never going to the movie to begin with?
Right.
But
I swear there's an ADR in like the opening scene in Jerry. It's Jerry's ADR. When it's Jerry and Elaine in the apartment, and then I think Kramer comes in. There's Jerry's audio is off in my headphones.
Was this earlier or later?
It was in the opening scene. I just remembered it now.
Oh, interesting. Because there's an ADR later with Jerry and Elaine that I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
I know it's boring for our listeners, but I always find them interesting, especially when they stand out. But Jerry is in classic form here, kind of, stringing her along.
Yeah, I had a little talk with the rabbi outside.
Oh, yeah, you did?
Yep. Understand you had a little talk with him, too?
Yeah, we talked earlier.
Yes or no?
What does that mean?
Nothing.
He didn't mention...
Yes, he did.
Oh, my God. Yeah, Elaine is shocked that the rabbi told Jerry everything about her jealousy, wishing she was the one getting married instead.
And it didn't take much prodding either, I have to say.
Man, there's a lot to unpack here. So Jerry is just eating this moment up, right? The flower smell...
He's elated because he's got the goods on Elaine, and he's gonna pull it out of her.
And that line there, it didn't take much prodding either. Does that remind you of something? Did you see the new addition to the Guggenheim? You did that?
It didn't take that long.
Yeah, it didn't take that long either. Like, it just reminds me of that kind of throwaway line.
Yeah.
But I mean, how can a rabbi have such a big mouth?
That's what's so fascinating.
What's he eating, like nuts there?
Oh yeah, there's a fade to the next scene, but Jerry kind of throws the nuts into his mouth and gives like a like a big nod.
So next scene we're at I want to say the Paragon, Vinny.
Really?
Yeah. Right?
Okay.
Doesn't it look like the Paragon?
I honestly didn't take notice.
I think it's the theater they use for nearly every episode.
You're right. That line, the long line of people, right?
And really, the only time you have a movie theater set, it's this one. You have the Paradise Twin just for that one episode.
Okay.
But outside, anyways, Jerry and Kramer are in line for Plan 9, and Jerry tells him, "Hey, you better finish up that latte because they don't allow outside drinks into the movie." And what does Kramer do to get around it?
He stuffs a styrofoam cup into his waistband. But notice Jerry is still a little bit peeved at Kramer because he says, that's the rule. Mm-hmm. He's still kind of hurt that Kramer would turn him in without question.
Right. Jerry isn't over this whole...
He's holding a grudge, baby.
Mm-hmm. Oh, God. Still to this day, I'll put candy in my pockets because I'm so scared of them catching me. Mm-hmm. And, I like my Mike and Ike's, my hot tamales... stuff that makes noise. And it's so loud when I'm walking. So if I have it in my pocket, I'll walk very slowly and smoothly
like
to the
you're
theater.
Up to no good.
You're no, better not hear the candy. They're going to bust me. Meanwhile, my wife, I've seen her we've gone to a movie together. We go to Starbucks before. She just walks in with her cup in her hand and she's fine.
Really?
Yeah, she's done it 2 or 3 times.
She's got one of those faces probably. That's why.
Every time I'm like, they're not going to let you in there. And she just walks on in.
My friends will go to Starbucks before a movie, and they'll put it in the wife's bag, like 3 cafe lattes sitting upright.
That's risky.
Yeah. So
Risky
far,
business.
got away.
All right. Well, before we move on, we got an email here from listener Gregor. I think it's Zakowski. He wrote, in the postponement, when Kramer and Jerry are waiting to get in the cinema, you can see Kramer drinking from the coffee with the lid taken off. I guess, he's trying to cool it. And then he puts the top back on before going in.
Oh.
And if you think about next week's episode, Jackie Childs will ask Kramer if he put the top on or if they put the top on. And Kramer confidently responds, they put the top on. So is Kramer blatantly lying here, or is this a slip-up?
Lying through his teeth, yeah. Maybe he was so traumatized by the experience that he forgot. Or they initially put the lid on and then he took it back off and put it back on.
But ultimately, the top was faulty. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
regardless. We'll bring that up again next week. That's a great email. Thanks a lot, Gregor. Next scene, we're at the rabbi's apartment, and Elaine arrives. The rabbi seems happy to see her. Even offers her some kasha varnishkas, which I'm like, that sounds terrible. And then I looked it up. It looks pretty good. But Elaine wants to know, why he told Jerry about their conversation, and he doesn't get it. Was that a problem for you? Turns out he told a few other people as well.
Mrs. Winston in 1F. We were waiting for our mail to arrive, and I happened to mention to her how you felt it was never going to happen for you.
What about Don Ramsey?
Don Ramsey?
The tall-looking guy. He lives on the 5th floor.
Oh, him. Well, this morning I happened to find myself in the elevator with him.
Oh, God, you didn't.
I did.
Oh, God. This rabbi, man. The worst. There was some deleted dialogue, too. Did you see this about Elaine told the rabbi that she had been illegally deducting her apartment rent as an office on her tax form or tax return? And the rabbi's like, oh, well, I happen to run an old friend of mine who worked for the IRS.
Man.
But I thought that was an interesting way for Elaine to get away with, paying for an overpriced apartment.
Oh, okay. That works. That tracks. Poor Laney.
Next scene, we're at the theater, and Jerry and Kramer are shuffling, down the row of seats. Kramer trips, falls over the people. He tries to stifle his scream as the latte is pouring down his legs. And you'd think it ends there, but an usher comes up to see what the commotion is.
Hey, what do you got there? One of those cafe lattes in your shirt?
How does he know? Is this like a trend?
Apparently. Well, he's all wet in the middle, and it's brown. It's brown! But when the usher says, you got one of those cafe lattes in your shirt, Jerry gives one of the best little motions of having a cafe latte on your person.
Yeah, you want to describe it?
And he thinks on Kramer. He's holding a invisible cup, and he purses his lips together and kind of nods up and down to say to the usher, yeah, he's got something on him.
All right, let's go, coffee boy, or whatever.
and then Kramer realizes Jerry finked, and he turns back and goes, yeah. Like, it was you.
But Jerry does one of those things where he's like, hey, what are you going to do? Like,
yeah, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Did you notice the woman sitting next to Kramer? She's really like amping up her reaction.
Yeah, when he falls the first time, and then when he leaves,
she's like, ah!
He falls again. It looks like she's in a lot of pain.
Apparently, she really injured herself during this take, so that was not acting. That was her actually being in pain.
Acting with hurting.
Yes, ouch.
Anyways, next scene. I think this might be the last scene. Oh my God, yeah, it is. Last scene, we're at Jerry's apartment. Elaine is, again, really upset with the rabbi, telling everyone about their talk, and Jerry wants her and the rest of America, I think, to know that the rabbi does not represent Jewish people's ability to take a nice piece of juicy gossip and keep it to themselves.
There you go. There's a little disclaimer. So they were just talking about this one rabbi, not all rabbis.
Right, but it still didn't stop, people from writing in, apparently. Before we go to this clip, you mentioned an ADR earlier, and I think there's an ADR like at the top here where, he's listing feelings of resentment, hostility, where it doesn't match the rest of the scene. And I think they were using two different takes of Jerry delivering that line.
Okay.
So they just had to kind of connect the two with some ADR. But anyways, here's the clip.
You didn't say anything to George, did you?
No. About how you wish it was you who was getting married instead of him. Feelings of resentment, hostility.
Yeah, so what?
Hey,
Georgie! Congratulations! Oh my God! I haven't seen you since it happened. I couldn't be happier for you.
Oh, thanks a lot.
Oh, come on. You really deserve it.
Oh, deserve? I don't know about deserve.
Are you kidding? I have seen the changes in you the past couple of years. Man, you have grown. You've matured.
Yeah, I guess I'm getting older.
Oh, well, I just think it's wonderful. Honestly, I've got to run. But please give my best to Susan. My most just heartfelt congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. Hey, listen, if you ever get a date, maybe the four of us could go out together sometime.
Yes, sure.
As a matter of fact, wasn't there some guy in your building that you said you liked? He lived up on the 5th floor or something?
Yes.
Well, she is something, isn't she?
Yeah, she's something else.
I think Elaine is getting such good, or actually, I should say Julia is getting such good stuff to work with here. She gets to be depressed and just downtrodden and, miserable over this George thing. Now she has to just ramp it up to a 10 to be so excited and put on this face.
What does that 10 sound like?
Georgie, congratulations! And big smooch and hug.
I gotta say though, and it's sad. Like, this is very accurate. Like, this happens all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, who among us hasn't been a little jealous, or you're not really happy for someone, but you have to kind of, I don't know.
Oh, you gotta
be polite
and meet the level of enthusiasm warranted for the given situation.
Sounds like she's going a little too far. But
and Jerry's just kind of looking back behind her, admiring this performance, this Meryl Streep.
Oh yeah, big phony baloney. Good point. It's all worth it though. Like, just all revving it up. Oh, you've grown, you've matured. Not a whole lot of laughs in there. Mm-hmm. But when George just casually says, "Hey, listen, if you ever get a date,"
and the look on her face, she wants to have him buy that
Panama
that Indiana
hat.
Jones hat so she can rip it over his head once again. She's gritting through her teeth at him.
I don't know if this is the most angry Elena's ever been at George, but the fact that she can't do anything in response, I think, makes it the worst. Like,
oh yeah. Yeah.
You can just imagine the rage building up inside.
Rage.
Right. She really is something. Anyways, Elaine leaves, and Jerry wants to know, hey, what happened? Did George hold his ground? Maybe for the first time, Jerry is wondering, hey, what happened? I've predicted everything so far.
Nope, he wept like a baby.
Yeah. For some reason, he just burst into tears. He poured his guts out. And George has never realized how powerful these tears are. He could have postponed it another 5 years if he wanted.
See, that's kind of a shame, because that could have been a nice breakthrough for the couple. George opened up with his feelings. Susan was sympathetic, and they could have grown together. But of course, our beloved George Costanza said, he's thinking, vindictively or connivingly that I could have postponed another 5 years if I wanted to.
Yeah, I can keep this going. And, there's some connection between George crying and it's the Serenity Now, actually. We already mentioned that with Jerry crying.
Oh, yeah.
I think isn't that it? Yeah. And that's weird, too. He asks Elaine to marry him in that. A lot of weird, right?
Tears and proposals, yeah.
Proposals, I love you,
Right back at you, Slick.
It's interesting what tears will do for a character. Has Kramer ever cried?
Of course. I'm thinking, I love you.
Yes.
I love you.
And Elaine, I don't know if, with Ruby and the whole nail salon stuff.
Oh, has she ever cried as a result of a relationship? She cried at the end of Mr. Pitt firing her when she did a little flashback.
There was the, I'm thinking of Carl in the moving van. It was like, one day the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
And she's like, ooh. It's more the face than the tears.
Yeah. Oh, she also cries when she couldn't get Carl to the airport.
Oh, Eddie.
Eddie to the airport. But it's never, it's never like a breakup.
Downstairs.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, rarely with a breakup, I feel, with Elaine. It's usually if someone's yelling at her or if she's embarrassed.
Mm-hmm.
But she definitely cries from laughing so hard when she can't get through a line.
Yes.
In the bloopers. But anyways, Kramer enters and turns out he isn't upset with Jerry at all.
Yeah, he spoke to a lawyer. They're suing for millions.
Suing? What for?
The coffee was too hot.
It's supposed to be hot.
Not that hot.
Bum ba dum bum 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 dum bum bum bum. What a weird ending to an episode.
Yeah.
I think just because I'm like, all right, well, I want to see this like next part.
So perhaps this is a trilogy. This the opening of season 7 is a 3-parter.
It really feels like it. I mean, engagement, postponement, obviously with the titles and the
annulment,
right? Whereas I guess the Maestro only connects with
the coffee portion,
the coffee portion, and a little bit of Elaine. But yeah, it really is a trilogy, all written by Larry David. I never found this ending all that satisfying. I'm just waiting to see, all right, how is this going to go when he meets up with his lawyer?
Oh, I see. Okay, well.
Now, I think most of our listeners are fully aware of the McDonald's coffee lawsuit.
Suing people for beverages being too hot became kind of a thing in the mid to late 90s, but it started with this McDonald's lawsuit.
Right. Back in 92, it was an older woman. She was like almost 80. I think she had, God almighty, I saw a documentary a couple of years ago, either specifically about this lawsuit or about like lawsuits in general, and they talked about this in depth. Have you ever seen the photos of the burns? Apparently this was...
goodness.
You're looking at the pictures now?
Whew, yeah.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
I'm getting hit by sweat! My goodness.
But yeah, can't wait to get to that arc next episode. Let's close it out here, Vinny, with an epilogue of sorts, very similar to last week. We got George and Susan in bed, and they're flipping through the channels.
She's wearing her nightie.
Yes. Very similar to when they watched Mad About You last week.
Yeah.
The prophet Isaiah tells us that without friends, our lives are empty and meaningless.
But wait a minute. Whoa. That's the rabbi from Elaine's building. I just met this guy the other day.
A young lady I know, let's call her Elaine, happened to find herself overwhelmed with feelings of resentment and hostility for her friend. Let's call him George. She felt that George was somewhat of a loser, and that she was the one who deserved to be married first. She also happened to mention to me that her friend had wondered if going to a prostitute while you're engaged is considered cheating. His feeling was, they're never going to see each other again, so what's the difference? But that is a subject for another sermon. Now, I'd like to close with a song.
I almost think that Susan finding out George inquired about visiting a prostitute, and then furthermore saying, "What's the difference?" that could have been grounds for calling off the wedding.
I think there are a lot of moments in this season where Susan should have called things off.
Well, this is number 2 after the toilet stall conversation.
It's funny that George, I guess, brought that up at some point, between episodes, because it seems sort of sleazy. I don't know. I'd never really connected George with prostitution other than, the whole Jiffy Park.
Right. This is something I'd expect more from Uncle Leo, but not George.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. But great way to close out the episode this week.
Maybe if you want to think deep, maybe George knew the rabbi was so gossipy that he intentionally planted this seed about visiting a prostitute because he knew the rabbi would televise it and say it on his program, and that's why he wanted Susan to see it so that she would be the one to call off the wedding, not him.
Oh my God.
Because as we'll see, as the season progresses, like George is going to try taking up smoking, and he's going to try all sorts of things to get Susan to break up with him. So maybe this was his first of many. Think about that.
Isn't that so shameful, though, to be like, the way I'm going to break up with her is to admit that I cheat on her with a prostitute? Why not be like...
That's George Costanza. Okay, and he doesn't want to face that other scene. He'd rather her break up with him in this fashion than have to, be the guy that left a woman who, was willing to be with him.
I'll give you this one, Vinny.
Thank you.
So, what do you think?
So, Matthew, how does this episode find you?
How does it find me?
Yeah.
I'll tell you how I find it.
Oh, okay.
I find it okay to, well... Yeah, it's one of these, if we're looking at these first 3 episodes as a trilogy, this is probably my least favorite of the trilogy.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you, hands down, next episode is my favorite out of all 3. In fact, next episode might even crack my top 20.
Oh my.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch that one. But this one, yeah, it just never really did it for me. In a lot of our 2-parter situations, like with the Virgin Contest... Bubble Boy Cheever Letters, I'm always surprised that I prefer the second part over the first. Mm-hmm. And this is definitely a moment where I prefer the engagement over the postponement. Yeah, definitely. It just, I don't know. There's some great stuff here. I love the cafe latte is fantastic. The rabbi, while not a super memorable, beloved character, I do love the actor's, delivery. Very quotable.
Mm-hmm.
But it just feels like a lot of setup for next episode, the stuff that I really want to get into.
All right, fair point.
What about you, though?
I got to disagree with you. I like this episode much more than the engagement for the following reasons. I really enjoy seeing now, George made his bed. Now he's got to lie in it. We're going to see, these not awful things, but we're going to see him have to deal with being engaged to Susan. He's living with her now. And everything that she does is grating to him, starting off with this conversation about extending the toilet stall doors all the way down. And their first disagreement, like normally, if he was with Jerry, Elaine, or Kramer, they'd be like, great idea, buddy, But this
not
woman and him do not, they don't belong together, at least is what we're learning from George's point of view. So I love seeing that. And then I love the conversation between him and Jerry siding with him. See, now that I don't care for it. In addition, I also like Elaine getting a lot of meaty stuff to deal with her feelings on George's engagement, and then also having to phony it up, Meryl Streep it up when she sees George. I think the rabbi is kind of a forgettable guest star this week, but still, I like having him in the fold. Mm-hmm. And
just playing back a lot of these scenes, especially between Jerry and George, from the stall doors to the makeup sex. I mean, there is some really good stuff there. And
yeah, the material here had me cracking up, had me like laughing out loud, which is why this made for an enjoyable episode for me. Like I was digging this one by the time it was over.
But the actual premise of the engagement and all the guest stars we see.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's why I think I like the engagement a little bit more.
Yeah,
this one feels a little repetitive, from George coming home, same scene, and Elaine, while a funny arc, it is sort of boring because it's just, I told the rabbi how I feel, and then I'm upset about it. Mm-hmm. There's not a hole there to hold my interest. It's not like kidnapping a dog, Vinny. But overall, though, how do you feel in terms of could we look ahead to the 3rd episode if we're looking at it as a trilogy? How do you rank?
It might have to be, if we're doing the first 3, it'd have to be probably 3, 2, 1, maybe.
Yeah, okay.
Because we're getting a great secondary character next week, and actually 2. Excuse me, 2 secondary characters are going to be introduced, and a great storyline and very memorable. And I believe Frank Costanza is he returning next week?
I don't think so.
Oh, I'm thinking of a different one. Okay, but we're getting the Maestro and we're getting Jackie Childs next week, so good stuff.
Not a fair way to judge, or review this episode, but it's hard as a Seinfeld fan not to think about Jackie Childs when Kramer says, "Yeah, I got a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to sue the company." You're like, "Oh, here we go." Anyways, is this going to crack your top 20?
Nope, doesn't crack, but still a solid episode for me.
Right on.
Yourself?
No, not cracking the top 20 at all, but enjoyed it nonetheless.
Well, I guess that's going to do it for us here on Seincast this week. Please feel free to send us an email at seincast@gmail.com. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, or dial us and leave us a voicemail, whatever you like, at Coco Bosco.
Vinny, what episode do we have next week?
Next week, we are discussing the 3rd episode of Season 7, The Bob Cobb. I'm sorry, the maestro.
But for now, I'm Matt.
I'm Vinny.
Signing off. Seincast is not endorsed by Castle Rock Entertainment, Sony Pictures, or NBC. It is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Seinfeld, the Seinfeld logo, and all names, pictures, and audio of Seinfeld characters are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of their respective trademark and copyright holders.
I live and breathe, my friend. I live and breathe.